Now, have you ever noticed that there's no single way of helping people? Doesn't fit everyone. Some people need acceptance. Some people need meaning. Some people need to reconnect with their emotions. And most of us need all three. That's exactly where integrative therapy comes from. Now, you can bring strengths from all sorts of therapies. Today, we're going to focus on three. You can bring together the strengths of person-centered therapy, existential therapy, and Gestalt therapy to create a flexible, holistic approach that adapts to the person sitting in front of us. Let's start with the heart of each of these approaches. Person-centered therapy from Carl Rogers gives us empathy, warmth, and unconditional positive regard. Creates a safe and supportive space where clients can open up without fear of judgment. Existential therapy brings in depth and honesty. The courage to explore meaning, freedom, responsibility, and the choices that shape our lives. Thinkers like Rollo May and Emmy Van Derzen remind us that facing life directly is essential to growth. And Gestalt therapy from Fritz and Laura Perls brings us into the present moment, helping clients become aware of their thoughts, feelings, and physical sensation that is happening. It teaches that healing comes from experiencing ourselves fully and integrating the past we often avoid. When we combine all three, something powerful happens. We get therapy that speaks to the whole person, their emotions, their meaning, and their immediate lived experience. Why is this so beneficial? Because people are not one-dimensional. We're emotional beings, thinking beings, embodied beings, constantly navigating relationships, decisions, and memories. An integrative approach allows therapy to respond to a client's unique needs rather than forcing them into a single theoretical box. The change principles across these three approaches blend beautifully. From person-centered therapy, we have acceptance, empathy, and authenticity. The idea that people grow best in a caring and genuine relationship. From existential therapy, we gain the principles of freedom, choice, responsibility, and meaning, recognizing that growth requires facing life honestly, and claiming ownership of our path. And from Gestalt therapy, we bring in awareness, presence, and integration. The belief that becoming fully aware of our experience in the here and now leads to transformation. Together, these principles create a therapy that helps people feel understood, grounded, and empowered. Person-centered warmth opens a door. Existential reflection deepens the conversation. Gestalt awareness brings the insight to life right there in that moment. So how does this integrative model create healing? First, it allows people to feel truly seen. It's not a set of symptoms, but as full human beings. Second, it helps them uncover meaning in their struggles, making senses of the choices they've made and the choices they want to make. And third, it brings them back into contact with their emotions, their body, and their present experience, where real change can actually happen. The assumptions and values behind this integrative approach are deeply humanistic. People have the capacity to grow. Awareness leads to change. Everyone deserves empathy and understanding, and each person has the potential to live authentically and meaningfully. Integrating these principles means bringing the best of all three. The relationship focus of person-centered therapy, the meaning-making of existential therapy, and the experiential awareness of Gestalt therapy. In practice, it might look like starting with deep, empathetic listening so the clients feel safe. A person-centered foundation, then greatly exploring how they make sense of their life, their choices, their freedom, an existential layer. And finally, bringing attention to what they're feeling now, their tone, their breath, their posture, or emotions as they surface. A Gestalt way of grounding insight is a real experience. It's not about mixing random techniques. It's about weaving together relationship, meaning, and awareness into a coherent therapeutic process. At the core of integrative therapy, it's this: simply, people heal when they feel accepted, when they find meaning, and when they reconnect with themselves in the present moment. Carl Rogers showed us that acceptance opens the door to growth. Rollo May reminded us that meaning gives us direction. And Fritz Perls taught us that awareness transforms us. When we integrate these ideas, therapy becomes richer, deeper, and more responsive to the human experience. It becomes a journey towards wholeness, towards living authentically, choosing purposefully, and being fully present in our own lives. Because in the end, integrative therapy isn't just about combining approaches. It's about honoring the complexity of being human and helping people become whole, aware, and fully themselves. And that's what therapy is all about.